My name is Quintero. I've been with Humble Homes for 4 years now. What inspired me to become a foster parent in the first place? My wife and I both married late, meaning in our late 40s. We tried IVF a couple times, and unfortunately that did not work out for either of us, and that was a very emotional experience. My wife comes from a family of 4. 2 of them were fostered and adopted, and so that led us to explore the opportunity to foster our own children. And so we had an opportunity to go through the process of becoming a resource family, and so we were introduced to Humble Homes in 2021, and it was a blessing to meet Jesus, and who guided us into becoming officially foster parents. You know, we never thought we'd have an opportunity to have children on our own, whether it was through fostering or adopting, but blessings do happen. What has fostering taught us through love, family, or just about ourselves? We were blessed to have our foster boys, twins, at birth. And holding them in the NICU unit the very first time automatically wins your heart. Talk about love, loving your family and loving your wife, but there's something about loving a child that you can't describe, and it's a feeling that goes above and beyond anything I personally experienced, but also anything that my wife and I experienced. Being a foster parent has brought joy to our hearts, but also tears to our eyes, and tears of excitement and love. And when we learned that we were officially be able to adopt him, it was just so much excitement that we shared with all our family and friends. And that day was as beautiful as the day you also held him in your arms for the first time. I can't tell you how much it changes not only our lives, but the lives of all the people who are with us through this journey. And it's just amazing. It's wonderful. It's a moment that makes me realize that this is why it was worth it. For me personally, I never thought I was going to get married or have children, and so both have happened now. But I will tell you, once we were raising the boys and having them in our home, and they were infants, I left to a conference in San Diego, and I came back 3 days later, and I walked through the door, and the boys instantly recognized me and smiled and laughed, and they held their arms out and wanted to hug. And I actually cried at that moment. It was then that I knew that these boys weren't just children that I was fostering. They were boys that I love and that I wanted to be my sons forever. And that moment made me not only realize that I wanted to be their dad, but I also wanted to change my job and my life in order to be a dad that's present for them. And I get emotional thinking about it. I still get watery-eyed because I will tell you that moment is irreplaceable. It's when I knew that we were a family and these were my boys, and they loved me and I loved them. What is one thing I think people understood about fostering? I would say, I wish more people understood that there's a need for foster parents. There's just so many kids, unfortunately, that are put in situations that they didn't ask for. They need love and they need attention. And I will tell you, they're blood to me. People wonder, like, will the kids be your kids or will they be okay? You know what? As good as you are parents, your foster children will be exactly the same. And maybe you'll have an opportunity like we did to actually adopt and bring them officially into your household and give them your family name. I think a lot of people are scared and nervous because it's not the normal, natural path to become a parent. But I will tell you, I was scared and I was nervous, but no more. Love wins over, and I could tell you that love will win you over as well. How do you support a child when they first emotionally come into your home? You have to open your heart and open your mind to having children into your home, and it doesn't matter if they're infants or they're 2 years old or 5 years old. You have to understand that, and you hear this comment that the children are innocent. The children didn't ask for any of this opportunity. And in some instances, maybe a child is from an abused or neglected home, or maybe there's a situation that they lost their parents in an unfortunate accident of some sort. But that doesn't change if they're a child, and they really want to be embraced. They want to feel loved. They want your affection, and your affection can be physical as well as spiritually, as well as emotionally. It doesn't take long for the child to not only embrace you, but to also recognize the love that you're providing to them. For me, that moment where we connected was actually in the NICU unit when we were offered through Humble Homes an opportunity to raise twin boys. And so I was nervous walking into the NICU unit, and then I sat down in a rocking chair, and the nurse placed one of the boys in my arms. At that point, the goo goo gaga. I was head over heels for them, And I wished for all of it to happen, and I couldn't want it more at that moment than I've ever wanted it. It's a journey, but it's a journey of sacrifices, but in the end, the rewards are just absolutely amazing. Again, a loss of words, but your heart will tell you that. What's it like being there as a foster parent? Like I said, when fostering a child, you don't know if it's going to lead to adoption or not. And so there's a scary moment, a time where you're attached to this child and you're providing comfort, love, and a home, security, food, clothing. You're doing all these things, and you realize that at some point you really want this child in your life. And so the care I think that I felt at that point was a true one of being a dad, a father, being a role model for them, and then showing them that I cared through affection and through words and through smiles and through play. Every moment that I spent with them, whether it was changing a diaper or changing their clothes or feeding them, was a moment of care that I embraced. If you decide to become a foster parent, I would say reach out to family or friends or colleagues who have actually been a foster parent or who have adopted. I was fortunate to be introduced to Humble Homes from a coworker at a school district that I was employed with. If it wasn't for her guidance and direction and coaching, not sure I would have made it to this next level, because there is a point where you're scared and you're nervous and you have anxiety. But to have a person who can mentor you and walk you through the experiences and let you know that everything's going to be okay, and that you have to have patience and you have to have faith, I would advise everybody to, again, be connected, whether it's through an individual or a group. And I will tell you, the staff at a foster agency, I find them to be exceptional. So the staff at Humble Homes was definitely supportive, provided classes and guidance, and really wanted to make sure that not only you were strong and confident, but also at ease and understand that you're not alone and that you can always ask for support. Yeah, any last words I'd like to share? I would say my wife and I had serious talks about fostering after IVF failed. And I will tell you that my wife and I absolutely loved the opportunity that we got with Humble Homes. Humble Homes was an excellent agency to work with, great staffing and good people with good intentions. We loved the communication that they shared with us. They provided us an avenue to become the parents we are today. We had tried different foster agencies, and the process was extremely challenging and took a long time. But Humble Homes, based on their experience and their team, just incorporated us into their family and brought us in. And it was wonderful since day one to be a member of them. So we love it, and we're just absolutely grateful and blessed for the opportunity.